On June the 3rd, Viktor Orban visited Ukraine for the first time in 12 years. Until this time, the Hungarian Prime Minister remained the only EU leader who had not been to Ukraine since the start of the full-scale Russian invasion. In statements to the press after the end of bilateral talks with Volodymyr Zelenskyy, Orban said that he'd proposed to the Ukrainian president an immediate ceasefire on the front line. This, in his opinion, will supposedly speed up peace negotiations.
I asked Mr. President to think about whether it could be done a little differently, to cease fire and then negotiate with Russia, because this would speed up the pace of these negotiations.
At a press conference in Kyiv, Viktor Orban noted that he was very grateful to Volodymyr Zelenskyy for his frank opinion on this issue and promised to convey what he had heard to other leaders of the European Union.
Orban sees himself as a mediator, sees himself as a person ready to represent the interests of Putin, Xi Jinping and Donald Trump in a negotiation process. And this is natural, since the ceasefire is one of the key points of the Chinese plan and one of the key demands of the Russian Federation, although Russia has larger appetites, and is even an element of the plan of Donald Trump's advisors. At the very least, Orban simply had to say this in Kyiv, otherwise none of these players would take him seriously.
Later that day, in an interview with a pro-Putin journalist who'd arrived in Kyiv with the Hungarian delegation, the Hungarian Prime Minister admitted that the President of Ukraine had rejected his proposed so-called truce with the freeze of the current battlefield. This is an extremely interesting proposal, Mikhailo Podolyak, advisor to the head of the office of the President of Ukraine, sarcastically commented on the initiative voiced by Orban. Allegedly, Ukraine should immediately and unilaterally cease fire, but Russia can continue to strike.
What does all this mean? As easy as a pie, Russia is literally asking through some strange intermediaries for the return of an informal decision on a ban for Ukraine on defensive strikes in order to continue to concentrate resources in the border areas in silence, to prepare new large-scale attacks, not to lose air defense systems and equipment, simple and primitive. Mikhailo Podolyak, advisor to the head of the office of the President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
This is not the first time that plans to achieve peace, which include possible concessions on Ukrainian territories, have been voiced. Thus, at the end of June, advisors to U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump presented their vision of ending Russia's war against Ukraine. The point is that if Trump wins the election, Washington may stop the supply of military aid to Ukraine if it refuses peace negotiations, and Moscow will be warned that any refusal to negotiate, on the contrary, will lead to a significant increase in defense support for Kyiv. Moreover, the plan provides for a ceasefire based on the actual line of contact. A few days later, during a debate with the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, Donald Trump once again said that he would end Russia's war against Ukraine if he was re-elected, but did not voice any specifics as to exactly how he was going to do this.
If Trump has such a model, tell me, who will be against it? Everyone wants to end the war in a day, preferably in an hour, but we have what we have. If the idea is to give away our territories, then this is not a new idea. If Trump's idea is to give away our territories, it is a bad idea. This will not lead to peace.
The only possible model of negotiations with Putin could be a multilateral agreement with intermediaries, as was the case during the agreements on the Grain Corridor, says Volodymyr Zelenskyy. According to him, such a model, when countries from different continents prepare a common decision on issues of territorial integrity, energy or shipping, can be used. Reported by Dana Kolesnik, Valeria Nekipelova, UATV News.